In this step-by-step tutorial, I'm going to show you how to automate creating these stunning POV viral videos. So one of the ones, for example, this most popular one is the POV lap on TikTok. I mean, this guy has only 15 or 16 videos and he has 461,000 followers, 6.8 million likes. I mean, some of these videos are incredible and they're getting like 4 or 5 million views each. So again, we're going to walk through step by step. I'm going to use n8n. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So even if you have no background, everything will make sense to you. So some of the ones that I created, for example, ours is going to be actually even a bit more robust because we're going to have several versions, meaning one is going to be on a wide version. So this one, for example, this is POV of somebody working as building the pyramid. And then we're also going to obviously have the mobile version. So here's the one of Cleopatra just waking up at the luscious gardens in ancient Egypt. And we're going to have much more nature-wise and then also kind of historical one as well. So that way you know exactly how to create these and you can basically put one single prompt and it doesn't have to be an accurate prompt. And this system will automatically generate these amazing videos for you that you can then post on your social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, to generate a ton of views. All right. So with that being said, let's jump in and get started. All right, so I'm on my blank canvas here. I just changed the name to POV video, change it to whatever you want. I'm going to start by giving you a quick demo so that way you see exactly how this works. And then we're going to go ahead and step by step build this thing out. All right, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and grab this, the workflow from the community. So I'm going to head over to my classroom section and it's this right here and scroll down and all the way in the bottom, it says resources, n8n blueprint. So I'm just going to click on this and click on download. This gets downloaded. Now I'm going to go to my canvas here and just click on import from file and drag this. All right, perfect. So now everything got imported. So let's go ahead and take a look at the demo here and then I'm going to explain exactly what's going on and then we'll kind of build this thing step by step. All right, so I'm going to test the workflow. The way to the way this thing will get the idea is from a user. So from you, for example, we're going to have this little form trigger with just one field that says fill in like whatever you want this POV video to be generated. So if I click on test workflow, so now this form is going to pop up. It says describe the POV video you would like to generate. And again, this doesn't have to be exactly accurate. I've made it so simple that all you have to do is just put some kind of a sentence that you want this to generate. And then our prompt generator will take care of the rest. So let's say you want to, I'm just going to paste in here. So you walk around on the moon in a new colony, right? Just as like a POV, it'll be kind of cool to see exactly what this thing generates. As soon as I click on submit, now this is going to run the entire workflow. There you go. As you can see right now, this is going to generate the prompt for the image and the video based on that just short sentence because we want to make sure that we're generating proper prompt. Once the prompt gets generated, we're going to send this to Flux. And it's going to create the image. And now we're sending this to RunwayML to generate the video. So after the video gets generated, again, the video is being generated from the prompt before and using the image that got generated in Flux. Once it gets generated, we're going to put this little set note or this little wait note because this is going to wait to make sure that this video gets processed in Runway. And then we're going to grab that video link and then we're going to send that to our Google Sheet and then also send ourselves an email. So that way we can easily access that and then we can do further things with it if we want. All right. So everything got processed. So now we got the video. Now it's going to post it in Google Sheets and it's also going to give us a link here. So now let's go ahead and check out our Google Sheet because this will just send us a link that we can click on and it will download automatically. So I'm going to go over to my Google Sheet and perfect. As you can see right here, you walk around on the moon in the new colony. That's exactly what this was. And it generated the video. So now if I click on this video link here, this is going to open the video and look at how beautiful that is, right? Wow, that's actually very pretty. There you go, right? It shows you the limbs. So the hand is being shown here. It shows the earth in the background, the sun. And this is the colony with different rovers, some kind of a flag there. The texture of the soil in the moon. I mean, all of it is absolutely beautiful. And the reason why this is so amazing and how it's gotten generated so quickly is because we're going to be using Runway, which is the Runway Gen 3 Alpha, which is an incredibly powerful platform. So I'm going to show you exactly how to use this because we're going to use all of it. And again, as you saw, it was just by one click of a button. We didn't do anything else. We just typed what we wanted to generate and then everything else got automated properly. All right. So that was kind of like the demo. Now let's go ahead and get started and take a look at this step by step, how to build this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and now get rid of this thing. All right. So The first thing is we need to put our form trigger, right? So I'm going to click on first step. This is going to be our trigger. So there, n8n has several triggers. You can do it manually, you can do it on chat, or you can do it on form submission. So you're going to click on form submission. So now this is going to open up this blank form here. So there's test URL and production URLs. We're gonna stay on the test URL because we want to be able to make sure that when we're clicking on it, it's submitting and not just going to production. Production just means that if this thing is, if your workflow is active right here, then you would select that production URL. But for test URL, we're just going to leave it as it is. So for authentication, we're going to leave it as none. So form title, we're just going to create a form title. So I'm just going to say POV video. Right, that's going to be our form title. Form description, you don't have to do this, but if you want, it's always good. So for example, we can just put something like, that's good enough, generate POV videos, right? So the first name, the field name, we're just going to say user input or something, right? And again, this could be something different if you want as well. That doesn't matter. So placeholder, this is what you're going to tell the user what to put. So I'm just going to say you wake up, or actually let's just put that you walk around the moon in the new colony, right? So that way you just have an idea. You're giving the users an idea or what to type. Everything else you're going to leave as it is. You're just going to click on toggle this required field, so that way people would submit, make sure that they're putting something to submit. All right, so the respond when form submitted, that's good to go. So now let's go ahead and click on test step, so that way we can see exactly if this thing worked. If I click on test step, now this is going to pop up, and there you go. POV video, generate POV videos. Very, very simple, right? So same thing. So this time, let's say you walk around the new colony on Mars, right? So let's see what this generates. All right, so I'm going to click on submit. So now this will send that information. As you can see, it came through. You walk around in a new colony on Mars. So now we're going to pin this, so that way we don't have to keep doing this over and over again, right? So I'm just going to click on this little pin data right here. And now this data is pinned, meaning that we don't have to click on test workflow and type in on that form every time. All right, so the next step is that we need to, so let me bring that back up again, the workflow. So we need to now generate the description of the video first, then we'll create the image with Flux, and then we'll create the video afterwards. So for the generated description, we're going to add this generate prompt, because obviously we need to make sure that we're generating the proper prompt here. So I'm just going to use an OpenAI node. So I'm going to click on plus here and search for OpenAI. And if I click on OpenAI, this will bring in this, these different actions. I'm just going to click on message a model. So right here, if you don't have an OpenAI account, like you're going to click on create no credentials. So in order to get the API key, the way to do it is if you go to, let me go back to the community here because I have all the resources here. You're just going to click on OpenAI API key, this link right here. This will take you to the platform. You'll sign in and you'll create a new secret key, and you'll copy that key and you'll come back and paste it right here. You don't have to worry about organization ID. You'll click on save and your OpenAI will be connected. So now you have access to all the models within OpenAI. The resource you're going to leave as text, operation, message, a model. Now from the list, you can choose the different models that are available. So all the different models that are here, I'm just going to use GPT-4o, but you can choose whatever you want. So that's good. So now for the prompt, this is the most important part here, right? Because we need to be able to absorb or grab this user input right here and generate a detailed and concise prompt. So I'm actually going to, again, same thing, go to my community here on the bottom here. This is the main prompt. So code and prompts, generate POV prompt, right? So I'm just going to copy this. This is a very long prompt because I did a lot of research to do this. So you don't have to. So again, same thing, like it's a very long prompt with lots of examples. So that way this knows exactly what to generate. So I'm just going to copy this, come back, and I'm going to click on expression here. And I'm going to maximize this and literally paste this, right? So now I have all this great. And again, you don't have to touch anything, just copy and paste that. This will automatically grab this JSON user input, which is coming right here from this here. So make sure you're naming it exactly user input, because otherwise you would have to change it here. And if you name it something different, I'm literally, again, this is just me drag and drop, right? So that's what that is here. So that's what's happening. So get rid of that. But anyway, so this is the long prompt that just basically tells this prompt generator, this OpenAI model, to generate a prompt that's specific to these models that we're going to use to generate the image and the video, right? So now that we have that in there, all we have to do is just now also make sure you're putting simplify output, and then also you're going to say output content as JSON, because we need to grab that from the continuing or the next nodes. So I'm going to click on test step. So now this should generate the prompt. As you can see, it's working on right now. So this is going to generate the prompt based on the short thing that we got from the user, right? So there you go. The prompt is POV. You walk around the new colony on Mars, first person view, POV GoPro shot of my gloved hand reaching out to touch the red dusty surface of Mars. So very, very detailed, very, very structured to make sure that it's being used for these models to generate the image in the video, right? So we're pretty much done at this point. So the next step now is to create our image here. So we're going to use this HTTP request node to generate the image using Flux. So I'm going to go ahead and actually go to my community here, and then same thing. We're going to go to, I'm going to show you exactly. So by the way, there's on the useful documentation, click on this HTTP request node. So n8n has this great guide if you're not familiar. I obviously have lots of tutorials as well on my community if you want to check that out about how to use the HTTP request node. But essentially, we're going to use that node to reach out to our image model, which we're going to use this flux.1 using Hugging Face. So the way to do that, the first thing you need to go to Hugging Face, you're going to click on this link. And here you're going to generate a token. So if you click on that link, it will bring you directly right here. If you don't have an account, you'll click on sign up. And once you click on sign up, once you're logged in, same thing, you just click on that link and it will bring you directly right here. You'll create a new token. You'll click on write. You'll give it a token name. You'll create the token. And once you create that token, you'll come back and this is what we're going to do. So the next step is we're going to add this HTTP request node. All right. So once you add that HTTP request node, this is going to automatically default to the get method. We're going to change this to post. So I'm going to click on post for the URL. Now I'm going to go back to my community again. And if I go down to my, right here to get video, nope. Generate image with Flux. I'm just going to use this URL. So you're just going to literally copy and paste this, right? You're going to come back, copy this, paste the URL right here. Okay, so once you do that, so essentially this is reaching out to the Hugging Face Black Forest Labs, which again is Black Forest Labs Flux.1-Nel. So this is the model that we're going to use to generate our images. This is one of the most popular models when it comes to generating from image from text. And again, if you create an account on Hugging Face, this gives you a lot of tokens to use as a free, so you don't have to worry about like getting charged here, unless like you're generating, hundreds of these a day, then you'll have to upgrade to a pro. But on the free version, you'll be able to generate multiple images without getting into any kind of paid version. So again, this is a beautiful model. It's one of the most popular models by Black Forest Labs. So make sure you're again copying and pasting that URL, so that way you're reaching out to the correct area. And again, we're using this inference API by Hugging Face that is free at this point when it comes to using this, at least for generating some images for test purposes. All right, so the next step is authentication. So right now authentication is required, obviously. So we're going to click on authentication. You're going to grab generic credential types, and then on the generic auth type, you're going to grab and click on custom auth. And then here you're going to grab or click on custom auth, select credentials. So if you don't have already a credentials, I have a couple, but I'm going to create it new for you so that way you can see exactly how to use this. So you're going to click on create new credential. So now this is going to create a blank JSON. Again, very, very simple. I've made it extremely simple. You don't have to do anything. So again, same thing. You'll come down here. You'll come under generate image with Flux. And all you have to do is just copy and paste this. Okay. You copy and paste this right here. And make sure you're changing your token that you received earlier from generating the token right here that we did, right? So once you give it a token name, create a token, this will give you a new token that you can come right here. Don't change the bearer, just change this section. That's it. Don't worry about copying mine because I'm going to delete mine, so don't even think about using it. But yeah, make sure you don't share your token with anybody because everybody can use it if you share it with others. So you're going to just replace this with your own token. You're going to click on save. And what this will do, I would also suggest changing. So if you do this, once you're done here, click on this name right here. So that way you can generate a new name. So you can just say Hugging Face 2. I'm going to say 2. So that way it's not confusing with my other one. You're going to click on save. And once it's saved, now you can select your Hugging Face account right here. Okay. So once you're done there, so next thing, we're going to leave everything as it is and you're just going to click on send body. So once you do send body, so for the body parameters, we need to send exactly the prompt that's coming in from the left-hand side here. And for the name, we're just going to name it inputs. Okay. And this is the body parameter that this model accepts. So we're just going to leave it as it is. Just put that in there. And then as far as the prompt, you're just going to come here, go to schema, and just drag this and bring it over here. There you go. So now you can see it's bringing you walk around a new colony on Mars first person. So now once you're done with this, the only thing you have to do is just click on test step, and this should generate the image for you now. So if I click on test step, as you can see, it's being executed. So now it's going to reach out to that model and generate that image for us. And there you go, right? It generated our image. If I click on view here, so now you can see, there you go, perfect, right? This first person view, Mars with rovers and everything else based on the prompt that was generated just by us giving it a short description. So now that the image is there, now we need to be able to give this image to our runway model. So one of the best things to do is, and this is what a lot of people actually don't know, with this particular model, with runway model, the great thing is you don't have to actually host the image on a separate server, because a lot of times these image to video models require you to host the image in a URL. So that way you can absorb that, and then you can prompt it to make it animated. The great thing is, the reason why I've chosen this particular method is because it just makes things very, very simple. Otherwise, you would have to create an S3 bucket or host it in a cloud server somewhere. So that way you can grab the URL. It makes it very, very difficult. The great thing about this model Runway is that it actually accepts this base 64 string version of the image. Again, do not worry about it. You don't have to know anything about that. But what just means that it will accept a text version of an image, so that way it can animate it. And the way to do that is, like, we can convert this into base 64. And you're going to click on this plus button. So now you're going to search for extract from file. And if you just search extract, this will come in. So extract from file. And now, as you can see, it has this list of different things that you can extract from files, different versions. But on the bottom, you can see right here, it says move file to base 64 string. So you're going to click on this. And now you can see it says move file to base 64 strings. You're going to leave everything as it is, because this is essentially grabbing this data right here, right? This data binary field, which is this file or image, and it's going to convert this in a numerical representation. So again, in a string version, a base 64 version. So again, you don't have to know the details, but just to give you an idea of what this is doing. So if I click on step now you will see what this is. There you go, right? It converted this image into this crazy bunch of gibberish numbers. But again, we don't have to worry about it. So now we are good to go. So now the image part is done, right? So let's go ahead and add our sticky note here, so that way things are nice and organized. Oop, not a node, sticky note. So if you add a node here, I'm just going to get rid of this, and I'm going to say generate prompt, right? So that is for, let's make this a little closer. There you go. All right. And I'm just going to click on duplicate. There you go. And in this portion, we did generate image with Flux. Okay. And let's go ahead and give this a different color. There you go. Perfect. All right. So now the next step is we need to generate the video. So if I bring in my workflow here again, so now we're going to create this video with Runway. All right. So this time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on this plus button and add our HTTP request, because we need to reach out to that Runway APIs, right? So I'm going to click on this plus button. Same thing. I'm going to search for HTTP request. And there you go. That's good. Let me move this a little bit here. All right. Let's move this a little bit more. Boom. Okay, so let's go ahead and double click on this, and we're going to change the method to post, because we need to reach out to Runway. All right, so for the URL, you're going to, same thing, we're going to go to the community, come down here, generate video. So we're going to grab this URL right here. So method is going to be post the URL. We're going to copy this, come back, paste, perfect. So authentication, same thing like before. We're going to click on generic type, and then as far as the generic auth type, we're going to click on custom auth, and then same thing, you're going to click on this drop down and create on new credentials. So once you do that, again, same thing, you will go back to the community, and right here, you're literally going to copy and paste this. So I'm going to copy this and come here, I'm going to go and paste it. Same thing, leave the bearer as it is, just replace this with your own key. Okay, how do you get this key? That's where you will go ahead and same thing, go back to the resources right here, and this is resources, generate Runway API key. If you click on this link, this will, obviously if you don't have an account, this will take you to the account, and this will tell you to log in or create an account. Once you create an account, you'll come here again, same thing. If you click on that link, it will directly bring you here. Click on new API key. You can grab the API key. It will be something this like a key and a bunch of other gibberish numbers and letters, right? And you'll just copy and paste that here. And that's pretty much you're done. So again, you want to make sure you're adding some, for like a few dollars. It is cheap. It costs like 5 cents per generation. So, or sorry, 25 cents per generation. So it's not that much. It gives you 1,000 credits for $10. It will be plenty. I mean, you can use it. I mean, I put this a while ago and I have a ton of a bunch of credits. So once you do that, same thing. You will grab your key and bring it over here. Leave everything else as it is. And you will click on save. Once you click on save, make sure you name it, by the way. So I named my runway. You can name it whatever you want. So once you're done there, now same thing, we're going to click on send body because this needs to get body and get this a few additional pieces of information. And again, all this information as far as what are the requirements for the body and the header, all of this is going to be on Runway's documentation. So if you go to the community, same thing. You see right here, Runway API documentation. If you click on this, this will give you a guide on what's required, what's, as far as like the headers. So you can see right here, these are the headers that are required, and the body right here, right? So, but that's what I did. I just made it very easy for you to, so that way all you have to do is just copy and paste in the bottom. That's why I have this like nice little body and post here and the header and the body, so that we don't have to go through the documentation there. But anyways, once you do that, so now we're going to send using JSON below. So you're going to select this, specify JSON, and I'm going to same thing, go back to my community, grab this, right? Copy and paste right here, paste. Again, don't worry about anything. Do not change anything. If you did everything according to what I showed you, none of this will need to be changed because this JSON.data and the prompt, all of this will be grabbed from the previous node right here. If you followed everything step by step, you don't have to change anything. Okay, so we're pretty much done here. So if I click on this now, everything is good to go. I'm going to click on test step. And there you go. It generated this ID for you, right? And that's JSON.id, and that's all we need at this point. So as you can see, it got executed properly. So now it's just giving you the ID for this job, quote unquote, because it needs to process that. Therefore, we need to add a wait node here to make sure that we're waiting before this thing gets generated. So I'm going to click on plus button here and wait, click on wait here. So the way this thing works is that you wait a certain amount, you specify how long this needs to wait before it moves on to the next step. So I'm going to put in around 40 seconds. It doesn't take longer than that. This Gen 3 Alpha from Runway is incredible. It generates like these amazing, stunning animations within like 30-40 seconds. So if you just click on that 30 seconds, so now you're going to wait and you're going to click on this. Again, this is just going to wait, execute that node, meaning that it's going to wait for 30 seconds before it moves on to the next step, right? So let's go ahead and actually add the next step here. So next thing is, now that this thing got generated, we need to grab that, because it gave us the output from here was just the ID, meaning it was the ID of the job. The job means that Runway is now converting this model or this image and the prompt that you gave it into an animation or into a video. So therefore, we need to now grab and use another HTTP request to grab that file or grab the link of that URL. So now we can go ahead and stop this. So now this time we need to use a get method. And again, all of this is inside the Runway documentation. So if you go right here, so this actually tells you to reach out to this particular endpoint to use the ID to grab that video that was generated, right? So therefore, for the URL, same thing. I have made it easy for you. So now if you go right here, it says method URL. You're just going to copy this, go back here, paste it. The authentication you're going to leave as none. And this time we need to send headers. So again, same thing. We need to send headers. You're going to toggle this send headers. So this time, instead of using JSON, I'm just going to use fields below because it's only 2 parameters, right? So same thing, you're just going to head to the community here and you're going to click copy and paste this. So you're going to copy authorization, come back here, name, paste, and then you're going to copy your token that you got right here. So copy and paste. Make sure you're, by the way, because I copied the comma and the quotation mark, make sure you're just copying the bearer and your API token. Okay, so bearer, key, whatever your API token. You're going to add an additional parameter, another parameter. So if I go back here, the second parameter, oops, it's called runway version, X runway version. This is very important because you need to add this, otherwise it won't work. Same thing, come back, name, stat. And the next one is you're just going to add this 2024-11. Yep, I'm going to copy that. And for the value, we're going to paste this. Okay, perfect. So everything else we're going to leave as it is. We don't need to send any body. This just requires the header. All right, so now we've basically given it this JSON ID, meaning that this is going to come directly. So from this right here, from this, after this wait node gets executed. So let me quickly do that. Change this to 1. So that way it goes through. So there you go. Obviously, you're going to go back to change it to 40 seconds. So that way it doesn't throw an error. But because we already waited long, so that's why I didn't want to wait more. There you go. So now this came through. So now the JSON.id means that this is just going to grab it right here. Okay. So now let's test that step. And now this should give us that video that got generated. And there you go. Right. So we got our nice, it said succeeded, status succeeded, and it gave this output. So now let's go ahead and we can just literally copy this. Or I've also added, as you can see in the output here, I've added a Google Sheet and a Gmail. So that way you can add this to your Google Sheet or Gmail instead of, you know, copying and pasting it. But for this one, it's fine. We can just quickly add this. So I'm just going to paste this to see exactly what got generated. All right, there you go. Cool. So now it shows exactly the rovers here, the new colony, and this person who's like moving towards the rover and walk around in Mars. All right, cool. So now another thing is you can add this directly to the Google Sheet or send yourself an email. So same thing, you'll add like a sheet right here, Google Sheet, with these 2 columns, AI video title or AI video link. So that way you can directly set that up. So that way, once you click on this entire process or once you click on test workflow, it automatically generates everything and sends it to your Google Sheet. And then also you can add a email note. So that way you can send an email. So let me go ahead and show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and do Sheets. We're going to do Google Sheets. We're going to do append or update row. So you're going to select your credentials. If you haven't seen how to do this, again, watch my previous videos where I walk through step by step, or in the community, you'll see exactly how to do that. You'll do sheet within document, append row from list. So this will now, you can choose this AI video links because that's what I named my sheet here. And then the sheet, you will make sure that you're selecting the correct sheet, and this will download or upload your columns manually. So I have 2 columns, AI video title and AI video link. So for the AI video title, I'm just going to like use this user input, right? You walk around in a new colony on Mars, right? And then for the video link, so now we're going to grab the video link that came out from this output right here. Okay. And now if I just test this step, now you'll see that this will add this to the Google Sheet there. Oh, give me an error. The column to match on parameters required. Oh yeah, because I forgot to select this. Actually, map each manually. Grab that. Oops. Yeah, so you just do column to match on AI video title, right? So that way you can select one of these and then you can make sure that you're sending the proper values here. So if I click on test step this time it should work. And perfect, there you go. So now if I go to my sheet here and you walk around the new colony on Mars, there you go, right? It got generated. It gave me this link as well. You can also add an email note like in what I did. So that way you can directly send this link to your email and you can grab it from there. So same thing, you will, I generated a bunch of other ones like that I showed earlier. So if I click on this one, this is Cleopatra waking up in ancient Egypt, looking at gardens or something like that. And again, this was the moon that we generated earlier. I mean, it's so beautiful. So again, if you see that you're not liking a few things, then you can play around with the prompt and change that to make sure that it's to your liking. As you can see, this is very, very simple. It makes it very easy. Now you can add this, bring this to your video, some kind of a video editor. You can add a title and you can add music to it. Again, that part, the reason why I didn't automate is because actually that's not a good thing to do when it comes to automation, because that actually gives you more headache. It's way more work than the manual way to do it. So that's why, in my opinion, if something doesn't need to be automated, then don't do it just because you can, right? So if something is efficient, the whole point of automation is to make your work more efficient. But anyways, so hopefully you found that helpful. Again, join the community. We have a ton of different content there, and we also have calendars so that way you can watch us do live builds, co-builds. We have an amazing group of people who are always passionate about building AI agents and automations, and we run calls there. We have discussions, group projects, so that way that's the best way to learn. I'm going to put the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe because I've got a bunch of great content upcoming that you want to miss. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you in the next one.